Well, you guys, it has been quite the morning. I stepped outside with my coffee in my hand to take Bandit for a walk and looked over, and I have a flat. Waking up to a flat tire is not something anyone ever really wants to do, but that's exactly what happened to me this morning. And so I thought, you know what? Now is a good time to talk about being a single, solo, female traveler boondocking, and what do you do when you have car trouble or van trouble or RV trouble, any kind of trouble. Okay, Fancy Free is obviously, she's a big rig. And she is too heavy. She's a 1-ton cargo van, and that's before the build out. And even though the build out is lightweight and easily carried by her, that is still way too much for me to lift without having a big power jack. And there is no room in my house to, my lights keep blinking, my bling on my sunglasses keep bouncing off the sun, sorry. But anyway, that is just way too much weight for me to lift without a heavy-duty power lift jack, and there's no room in my house for a heavy-duty power lift jack. So one thing that you want to make sure that you always have on the road is roadside assistance. And I had never had to call it before. I've always had, when I had a flat before at Christmas and spent Christmas alone because of that flat, my friend Glenn helped me out, and then my friend Steven helped me out, getting me to where I could get a set of new tires, and thank you both for that. And then this time I was like, well, I don't know who to call for roadside assistance. Do I call my insurance? What do I do? So the first thing I did, of course, was contact my trustee, David, and he confirmed that he didn't think that I had AAA or anything unless I'd done that while I was with Robert. So I contacted Robert and I'm like, do I have AAA or anything? And if you're new to my channel and you're like, why would somebody be out traveling and not know what they have? Please remember that I have a brain injury and I am now on medicine that helps me with memory, but this past year is pretty much gone for me. There are no connect the dots. I look at pictures and stuff and I'm like, when the heck did that happen and who the heck is that? I have a lot of memory loss from this last year when my decline was so bad. But now with the Aricept, I'll remember, and hopefully if it happens again, I won't even have to contact anybody. I'll know just what to do because it went so well today. I'm going to tell you all about it and what you need to do and maybe have on your policy and why I don't have AAA or anything, and also if all of that had failed, what my backup plans are. I did a 360 of where I'm parked so that you can see that I am remote and I'm getting the solitude that I want, but I am learning my lessons. You can also see that I am on a gravel road and I've got good signal. That's important, or I wouldn't have been able to get the help that I got today, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I am on a gravel road and I am less than a quarter of a mile from a major road, and it's not an interstate, but a highway. And all of that is helping me to get assistance today so that I am not stranded or having to get somebody to come rescue me, because that's not a position I ever want to be in, and it's not a position I want to put others in anymore. So I'm out remote and I'm boondocking, but I am close to a highway and I have a signal. Those are two things that you want to keep in mind if you're boondocking. It's fun to get way out and get away from people, but it is possible to find places where you don't have to do that, and I just can't afford to anymore. So it means I may have to give up some of my solitude and my peace and quiet, But today, I'm fortunate I got both. Because I'm camped where I have a good phone signal, I was able to call, and I don't have AAA, and the reason that I don't have AAA is because they've gone up a lot in prices, and they don't offer as many benefits and value-added services as they used to. And with my insurance, I have nationwide. With my insurance and my roadside assistance, I don't need AAA, but I had to be able to have a phone signal to call them. When I called them, you guys, I was shocked and blown away at how automated it was and how simple it was. And because of my brain injury, I took notes really well first about my location and coordinates and everything, because I wasn't sure what they might need, and I had all of my paperwork out and ready, and I sat and I got really quiet for a little bit before I called so that I wouldn't be rattled and that I could answer any questions they had, because this was a lot for me to absorb and do on my own for the first time. And I called them, and they call the 800 number and you tell them what you want, and I said roadside assistance, and they're like, hold please. And they sent me through to this automation that says, please press 1 if it is all right for us to access your smartphone and your location via a mapping software. And I thought, well, sure. So I hit 1, and the map popped up of exactly where I was. They asked me to confirm it. I hit confirm. They and then there was a couple of more screens about information of whether I needed a battery or gas or a tire, or I was just blown away. I just pop, answered questions, and then as soon as I finished, I got this text that who had been assigned to come out and do the tire change, and I was even able to leave a note and tell them that I've got a great spare, but I don't have any tire tools, because there's no sense me having tire tools when I can't change the tire anyway, and I don't have room to store, like I said, a big jack and all that. So I've got like tire tools, but not like a big jack and everything that they'll need, a hydraulic jack. Anyway, so I left them that note, and I got a text as soon as we hung up of who's assigned to me, and then I got a text immediately from them that says they've got the map and coordinates and know right where I am, and as soon as they have a driver, they'll text me and let me know, and they'll see me soon. And they've since checked with me to tell me that the driver will be out later this afternoon. So I just can't stress to you how important it is that if you think you're going to need roadside assistance, one, have it on your insurance or have some sort of policy backup like that, and be sure that you have a signal to where you can call. Now let's talk about if you don't have a signal, because face it, there are times when I just need to get away from people, and I sometimes have camped where I don't have a signal. I don't do bad roads anymore. I just can't afford to do that. I don't want to put fancy free through that. Look at my puppy back there. He's being such a good dog. You're such a good dog. He's just watching. That's what he does. He just hangs out and watches and chills with me. He's just so perfect for me. Anyway, so I do have a backup in case I am where I break down and I don't have a signal. But just know that you have to be prepared. You have to have a backup, or you have to have something in place, because stuff happens. Look at that tire. It's like flat. And I don't know what happened. They're brand new tires, or not brand new, but they're not even a year old. But see, here's the thing. I wasn't off-roading. I was in town yesterday, and I bet while I was in town I picked up a nail or something. So see, town can be dangerous. My backup plan is a Spot Gen 3 GPS satellite messenger emergency device. It has, see this SOS? That is an emergency if I need help, but this little button over here where it's helping hands, that's if my vehicle needs help. And so I can hit that, and they dispatch a tow truck, and they contact my trustee to let him know that a tow truck has been dispatched to my location. And not only that, but I'm trying to do this one hand because I don't have a tripod. I have a monopod, and so I'm having to hold it with one hand. But it has also has two buttons that I press when I get to a new campsite that tells my tribe where I am and that I'm okay. That's automated. I don't have to do anything. So those 4 buttons and this device help me feel so safe out here. And even if today, let me get in the shade for you. Nope, not going to happen. So even if today I had not been able to reach somebody by phone, I could have hit my emergency save our vehicle plan on here. It's an optional plan. I could have hit that button and had a tow truck still come out. So I've got a backup plan. I've got my roadside assistance. My initial plan is to keep my rig fancy free in tip-top shape. I obviously picked up a nail or something in this tire while I was in town yesterday, but I had just checked my tire pressure in the town before that, and it was fine. I checked my fluids in my engine every fill up, and I keep her maintained. I use Spencer Mobile Auto Repair in Pahrump, Nevada, and he takes really good care of Fancy Free. In fact, when she broke down, when they had the battery problem, you guys go look at that video, and at the end of that video, you'll see where the mechanic wrote on there, vehicle is well maintained, customer takes good care of it. And I was like, yes, I love that. So your number 1 line of defense is take very, very, very good care of your vehicle. Number 2 is keep checks on your vehicle. Check your tire pressure, your engine fluids, and everything as often as you can. Keep track of your gas mileage because that'll tell you if something's going wrong. Number 3 is park where you can get help if you need it, and if your rig is old or something, be careful about parking way out. You'll get stranded. Number 4 is signal. If you're going to have to call for help and that's your only form of getting help, be sure you camp where you have a signal. And this bit about, oh, if you can see the towers, you're okay, I can guarantee you that is not true. I have parked within sight of towers before, and I did a speed test, so I would recommend getting a speed test app on your phone. I will put in the video description the app that I use. I believe it's called Sensorly, and I do speed tests to see if I really have a signal, because sometimes you can have 3 bars on your phone of LTE and still be sketchy on getting a phone call out. It's just weird. So anyway, I always make sure I do a speed test. So that was number 4, make sure you have a signal. Number 5 is have some sort of backup plan. Do I have that turned right? If at all possible, have some sort of backup plan. There you go. And mine is the Spot Gen 3. And in addition to just relying on this device, I keep my tribe informed of where I am at all times. I hope that this has been helpful. Stay tuned. I'll show you what happens when the tow truck finally shows up. Not finally shows up, it's only been about an hour, and I'm happy. I don't care how long it takes them. But anyway, in the meantime, Bandit and I are just going to sit here and chill. So the tow truck company called me, and they don't have the tool to get the tire down from underneath my van. And I remembered, oh, duh, I have that. And so I got it out to make sure first, and I called them back and verified that I do have that. So I do have some tools and exactly what they needed, because tow trucks don't carry that, evidently. And so they're on their way. And now that I have settled down, I also want to tell you that there are 3 things that I'm going to get that I should also carry with me. All right, I can't have a big, heavy hydraulic jack with me, and I can't do this on a manual lift. So, but there are 3 things that I can get and that I am going to get. One is a tire inflator, and I want both the 12 volt and the AC, but it has to be able to lift or inflate at least to 70. My back tires should be at 80. Depending on the roads I'm traveling, but anyway, it should be able to at least get me down the road if I have a slow leak, and to 70, and I can get one that size, and I think find a place for it in my van. I'll just make it happen. The other thing is the tire pressure gauge that I have, it doesn't inflate to 60 or 80, so I'm gonna have to get that. And I looked it up, and the tire inflator that I need, the air pressure inflator that I need, and I'll put these links in the video description, is around $60. Believe it or not, the tire pressure checker, the gauge thing that I need, they run about 20, because to get that high for because she's a 1-ton cargo van, plus she's got the build out, and the tire pressure is 80 and 60, and so anyway, I have to get one that'll read that. and that's about $20. And then the other thing that I need to get is a heavy-duty tire repair kit. Again, because of her Fancy Freeze tires and her being heavy-duty, it has to be a heavy-duty kit. And my friend Linda May encouraged me that she can do it, and she learned how at one of the RTRs, and so I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to get one of those kits, and that's about $35. So I have about $100 that I need to get some supplies on board for Fancy Free and see if I can do even more myself next time. But you guys, I'm so proud and I'm so happy, and this process has been so easy, and I'm getting her done and getting it taken care of, and so can you. As this morning has gone along and I've progressed on getting the tire taken care of, I've thought of some other things too. Okay, that might not look like much of a tent behind me, and it's not. It's a kitty tent, but it reserves my spot, and I went ahead and put it in my tarp up in case when the tow truck gets here and he puts on the spare, that if the spare needs to be taken off right away, in other words, if it's low or anything, I need to go on into town and get that taken care of today. So anyway, I went ahead and put this up, and it reserves my spot, and I recommend that you do something like that whenever you get somewhere with a good campsite, because when you come back, I guarantee you the spot will be gone. The other thing I thought of is always travel with some cash on hand, because you never know what might happen. And if you're out like this, you can't get to the bank and get money. So I think that's it. I think I covered what I learned this morning. I hope you learned something from this. All right, we evidently have to go. He's been so good today. Let's go wait on the tow truck.
There's going to be a nail or a staple in there somewhere, you can see right there.
All right, see, I'm telling you, if I stay out in the wild and don't go to town, I do better.
See you down the road.
And I have a tire you guys, I have really got to get me a tripod. Holding this monopod and trying to get in frame is ridiculous. But anyway,